We begin with the latest news in the Middle East. The Israeli army suffered multiple casualties as fighting with Hamas escalated in Jabalia in North Gaza. Israel also suffered another blow after 5 of its soldiers were killed and another 7 wounded in friendly fire. Meanwhile, fierce fighting continues in southern Gaza, particularly in the city of Rafah. Now, as Israeli troops fight on the ground, a major political battle has erupted in Israel's war cabinet. In a nationally televised address, Israel's Defence Minister Yoav Gallant has openly called out Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, questioning his plans in Gaza. The Defense Minister says that he's been raising the issue of post-war Gaza since October, but Prime Minister Netanyahu has failed to provide an answer.
Military rule in Gaza would become the main security and military effort of the State of Israel over the coming years, at the expense of other arenas. The price paid would be bloodshed and lots of victims, without purpose as well as a heavy economic price. I must reiterate, I will not agree to the establishment of Israeli military rule in Gaza. Israel cannot establish civilian rule in Gaza.
The defense minister has asked for assurances from Netanyahu that Israel will not use its military to oversee operations in Gaza during a post-war transition.
I call on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to make a decision and declare that Israel will not rule over civilian affairs in Gaza. There won't be Israeli military rule in Gaza, and an alternative leadership to Hamas in the Gaza Strip will be advanced immediately. It is our duty and responsibility to lead our country to a better place, here, right now. It's on our watch.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has responded by saying that he was not ready to hand Gaza back to Hamas. The Israeli Prime Minister also said that Hamas has to be eliminated, as the Palestinian group will not allow any other civilian administration to oversee the management in Gaza.
Until it is clear that Hamas does not control Gaza militarily, nobody will be prepared to take upon himself the civil management of Gaza out of fear for their lives. Therefore, all the talk about the day after, while Hamas remains intact, will remain mere words devoid of content. Contrary to what is being claimed, for months we have been engaged in various efforts to resolve this complex problem. Some of the efforts are covert, and it is good that this is so. This is one of the objectives of the war that we have defined, and we are determined to achieve it as well.
Defense Minister Gallant has flagged concerns about indecision in the war cabinet, adding that any further delay on Gaza would only cause more Israeli casualties as the war drags on, despite Hamas being reduced to an insignificant size. And it's not just the defense minister that's pushing back. War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz has also come out in support of the defense minister, calling Gallant truthful. And in a major move to sidestep Prime Minister Netanyahu, Benny Gantz spoke to U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham and President Joe Biden's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan in a bid to reset Israel-U.S. ties. Prime Minister Netanyahu finds himself in an unenviable position, fighting Hamas on the ground and facing stiff opposition from global allies and domestic leaders. Netanyahu remains defiant, but cracks are beginning to show, and his cabinet is in fact splintering. With each passing day, support for the Israeli offensive wanes. Clearly, time is not on the side of Netanyahu. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.